Hey everyone, it's Wednesday night, March 18th, and we're going to read our next story from our book Callings in your student handbook. In your student handout. Your binder, page 239 to 242. There's a story of Sol Arimendi, who is an artist and an educator, also known as a teacher, just like me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the story to you. You can follow along as I read to you. Then when you're all done, I would encourage you to read the story out loud individually, just so you can practice fluency. And at this point, you would have already heard something, heard how to pronounce the words. And then I'm going to ask you to go to page 108 in your student binder, 108, and create a Google document, and to please complete the 7 parts of that assignment. After you finish that, you can please submit that document through Google Classroom, and then that will complete our reading comprehension, as well as writing. And that's the same assignment that we've been using all along since the beginning of the year as far as a homework assignment. So let's get at it. Artist and educator Sol Arimendi, in her 40s, talks with her student Cynthia Gomar, 31. I moved to New York 12 years ago from Buenos Aires. It was January. The weather is difficult, no? I didn't have any of the proper clothing, and I went from having family and a lot of friends to a place where I knew very few people. It took me 3 years to adjust. A friend had invited me to start a business, but the business didn't work out, so I had to do something to survive. One morning, I went to see the sunrise, and I took a picture of it. That first light gave me a lot of hope, I think, and that's when I started going around taking pictures. First, I felt this compulsion to photograph grass. In New York, it wasn't easy to find. And then I had a dream one night of when I was a kid and my grandmother used to take me to the countryside, and she would stop in the wheat fields, and I would walk in this wheat field like I was swimming. For me, it was the best part, and all these New York pictures of blurry grass, they looked also like a sea of grass, or like swimming in the grass. It reminded myself of where I was coming from. I needed that connection. Photography helped me arrive in New York. I am living here. This is my life now. These are the places I go. It helped me realize that I don't live anymore in Argentina. After that, things changed completely. I made new friends. I felt more comfortable. I said, okay, since photography's helping me feel at home in the city, I'm going to teach photography in Spanish to people who are immigrants. Most of the time, immigrants are kind of second-class citizens. We are not welcome in many spaces, or we feel like we are not. So I'm reclaiming spaces that we think are not for us. Why did you come to my class? I wasn't happy. I was working Monday through Friday at a factory. I was making, I think, $5 an hour, and I sent money to my mother. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I was visiting family, and that was it. I had arrived from Mexico when I was 16. but I couldn't believe that I was really living in New York. You see, in the movies, that New York's a big city, a great place, but we didn't go to the places that are in the movies. And it was hard for me to learn the language. So when we would go out, I felt scared. That was my life for years. Then, when I got pregnant with my daughter, I stopped working. So I was a full-time mom all the time until I found out about your class. My friend told me I found a flyer about a photography class, and it's in Spanish. If you want to go, let's go together. So, what were your first impressions of me? I found you kind of intimidating at first. You said, don't think about your past. Think about what you're doing now and what you want to do. See the city that you live in. Find out about it. Explore it. Live in the place where you live. You can do it. But taking pictures changed everything. I feel good when I take pictures. I feel free. I discovered that I can take good pictures and I can see the city. Before, I was always afraid of talking in public with people looking at me. But when I take pictures and everyone's like, oh, show me, it's not hard anymore. For me, taking the class, it was freedom. I'm proud of myself. With photography, we can tell stories. We can express how we see the world. So, how has your idea of New York City changed? Well, now I don't visit my family so often. When they call and say, oh, come and visit us, I say, you know what? I'm busy. I am taking my kids to the museum. Now, I do believe that I'm a New Yorker. This is my home. That makes me feel really good and also emotional. I really hope that art can help my students be the best that they can and that they discover their own power. Something that I have learned throughout the years is that the only person that can change you is yourself. And I feel like it's my duty to create spaces where these changes can happen. Before I started your class, I was in a room with a closed door, and you opened the door for me. So I want to thank you. I thank you very much. Recorded in New York, New York, on June 29th, 2015. Cynthia Golmar left and Sol Arimendi.